If you have something to say, just say it. I feel like when people are having a conversation with people or a group of people, they're always thinking, they're always waiting for the moment where they can actually say something, but then they feel like, oh, I have to say the perfect thing, so if I don't have the perfect thing in mind, then let me just not say it. But I feel like you should just talk. And I think the reason people don't really speak up is because of fear. But are you gonna go your whole life without talking just because of fear? Like, you only live once. And obviously, don't do silly things like doing drugs and going to parties all the time. But, like, within the boundaries of productive things and things that aren't harmful, just speak. Because the worst thing that can happen is you get embarrassed. But the reality is, nobody cares. You, like, you're not saying your idea or what you want to say because you're afraid to be embarrassed. But like most of the time, people really don't care what you're saying. Even people, I spoke with this person who was like gonna make 10K a month on his first ever offer, and he was like, oh, like you need to do this, you need to do that. And I was like, oh, I don't know how it came off, but like generally I can do this and that. He was like, I wasn't paying attention. I'm just like joking. Like I was not paying attention. People really don't read into it. Even people that are successful, even people like anybody who is successful, anybody who's not, anybody who's popular or not, they really don't read into it as much as you do. And you need to like kind of get that into your head if you want to stop living in fear, because the worst thing that can happen, like I said, is you feel embarrassed. Not that you should, because like I said, people really don't care. But if you feel a certain way in your heart, just know that embarrassment is an underexplored emotion. So even though it feels scary, the reason it feels scary is because embarrassment, the reason you feel embarrassment is because your brain feels like it's in a dangerous situation where you're like not saying the right thing. Like this fear is putting you in fight or flight, and that's why you feel like this negative emotion, which is embarrassment. But that's not bad. Like it's just a protective mechanism, and we already know that our protective mechanisms can be maladaptive, and sometimes we have like mechanisms in our body, but they're not actually good or productive for us in this like day and age, right? Like when you take a cold shower, you're like like all this like drama, bro. And it's like because your body is turning on certain things to protect you because it senses it's a danger. But like in reality, if you think about it, is a cold shower gonna kill you? No, it's not gonna do anything close to that. Especially a shower. Like maybe like if you're in the freezing water of Antarctica, like something can happen, but in a shower, not even a bath, you're not in any danger at all, really. So there's things in our bodies that you don't have to listen to, you know, like when we touch ice, or no, no, let me do, I already did that example. When you are touching heat, you get like, you go like, ah, like when the stove is here, but you're not that close to actually burning yourself. Your body is just giving you a signal before it happens. And that is kind of useful, but it's, the point is that like your body overreacts and gives a response way earlier than when the damage is actually happening. And in a social, the same way your body protects you physically, it's like getting that same visceral physical response to something not physical and not physically dangerous at all. It's not physically dangerous to say something that people don't agree with, to be controversial, to say something that's embarrassing. And like who's saying embarrassing, right? Like everything is relative, everything is subjective. Like the way you think is not the way other people think, and vice versa. Like you might think it's embarrassing, but they might not. Even if like let's say they care, in that case they might not like feel like, a lot of the times you're going to benefit by speaking rather than not. Like what you gain by staying quiet and feeling like you're protecting yourself from embarrassment or saying the wrong thing, you're going to benefit a lot less from protecting yourself that way than to actually do it. Because even if you have like a controversial opinion or something that differs from other people, because people do fear like differences, they fear something that's not familiar, which is again maladaptive. um they will likely like respect you more, or be like, oh, this person is like critically thought, and like, oh, I never thought about that, you know. Like, people are not as harsh as you think. I feel like even in my life, like, I always grew up feeling like, you know, everyone is kind of this way and everyone's rude and everyone's for themselves, which is like true. Like, you know, as a human we are kind of wired like that in a way, to be selfish, but that is not permanent, as I believe. Like, and I think it doesn't serve you to believe that you're destined for a certain way, or like the way you behave is something that's permanent, because these things can be changed. And let's say like scientifically there was a way to prove that you couldn't change it, it really doesn't help you to believe that, because if you try to change, like, you will change. Like, it makes no sense for you not to, even if it's like insignificant or you think so. Like, whatever, just get that out of your head. But like, people will respect you when you disagree and you're respectful about it. They will put your status higher. And I'm not like the type of person to care about status and all this, but like in a social way, like not in a like power way, but like in a social way, you have more authority that makes you like have a certain type of aura. And I'm not like a coach for charisma and like that sort of stuff, but my point is that it really benefits you to just talk. You know, people will see your perspective and they will be like, wow, this person is so thoughtful. And really, like, if you think about it, people are always like, oh, this person is attractive because they're pretty. But attraction, the definition of it is literally that it's not about like looks. It's literally about like the things externally, like the other things about a person, like how they talk, their personality, their interests, the way they care for people, like these character traits. That is attraction. It is a feeling that you get as human to human when you can see those traits. Like, you don't, a trait, being pretty is not like a human quality. It's not something that benefits a person's life in that way, you know. So you connect with a person a lot more if they have certain traits, rather than like just being pretty or something like not tangible like that. And that will build you relationships that are actually long lasting and sustaining, because they're built on something that cannot be taken away from you. And it's something that is unique about you that isn't with other people. Like, if everyone has the same trait, it's so easy to get, right? If everybody is like saying the same thing, doing the same trend, and just, you know, staying quiet and not giving their opinions, even if it's controversial or different, they're like everybody else. So there's no scarcity of that type of personality or archetype. So if you're different than that, then you have something that is like scarce, and people want that because it's unique and it adds to their life. Like, the point is always like value, not in like a really physical transactional way, but in a way that just brings more into your relationships. Like, you know, like, people, there are relationships that are just for hanging out and having fun and all these things, but the ones that last the longest are the ones where you're actually like talking with someone and getting to know each other and being having like thoughtful conversations, right? Because like, fun can only last so long. You can only go to the same fun space or place so many times, right? Like, the real tangible thing that keeps people going is like the way you are as a person, the thoughts and ideas and personalities and interests that you have. So if you never speak up about them, people can never know about these things, and they can never be like, oh, this person is cool, like, let me talk with them, like, let me be friends with them. And you never put yourself out there. But the world kind of rewards putting yourself out there in every way, in every aspect. Like if you're in school and you raise your hand, you're putting yourself out there and you're the one learning the most because the teacher is literally tailoring their response and what they're teaching to you in your question. If you never if you never raise your hand, you don't get to ask a specific question, therefore you don't get a specific answer, and therefore you have to go on your own and figure that out versus a qualified person teaching you. That's in school. Another example, like you already probably know by yourself, but I'm just putting it in a in a way in front of your face so you can kind of like get that. Like sorry, I don't, that sounded like in a way that's like digestible, right? Like the world just rewards people that put themselves out there in business, in life, in relationships. It's and audacity in a respectful way will get you so far. It's like these emotion evoking things that you do that people respond to in a positive way. So if you're always fearing of saying something, of speaking up, please reconsider or find a way to fight through it, because you cannot go your whole life feeling afraid, and especially something that has literally zero physical threat to you. It's really going to harm your self-esteem, and if you have low self-esteem, it will be so hard for you to do the things you want, like in your relationships, in your like personal life, in your physical, in your financial life. Like it's literally going to affect you in all these endeavors, because self-esteem, the way you believe yourself in yourself, the like self-respect that you have or don't thereof, that affects so many things, because your life is literally you. Your life is literally based on you, the way you think and the way you act. It isn't your life is not somebody else's. The way everybody's life is like the sum of everything that they've done and how they react to situations. That's how you develop a life. So if you want something more from your life, if you want anything in life, you can't be passive.